So, we are back in Satisfactory. So last time we finished up the heavy modular frame factory, which I believe is working at 100%. So, with that done, we now have our crystal oscillator factory to work on, which is first and foremost going to require putting a lot of new train lines onto the train network. So we need deuterium, we need quartz, and we need crude oil. So let's start doing that. So we head back here, and our new hubs go over here. And we just fly on over. Let's get a fuel resupply. Boom, done. Alright, so past the water. Although, let's see, I need to remember how exactly this is set up. So we have this one, which is the previous one's entrance, and then we have one block, then this one, then 2 blocks, then the stations. So we head over here, and then this goes here, and something like that. Okay, then we have 2 blocks, and then the stations. So let's get them lined up. They're centered on this block here. So we just shift that over, and then back. And that looks correct. Alright, so then we just get the next one, which is centered on this block here, and of course aligned up the same as the previous ones, 2 blocks back. Alright, then we need to put the railways in there, and then something is going to happen with that. We'll have to figure that out before we connect these up. So first we have to put all these in, which is going to be a whole lot of concrete. So let's just place all these back. And in they go. Alright, that's probably gonna have to do that, and then I think we need like a little bit more space for these, so let's just do another batch. Alright, that one got too far out to begin with, so we're gonna have to be careful to correct it. Other than that, we can just send all these along and use up a truly insane amount of concrete. But now we have this. So this is going to be, let's call this the oil hub, and this one the oil distributor. Oil distributor. Alright, so then we get the fluid freight platforms, and we get 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we just have to do the same for these ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that is the bulk of that. And then we go out 4 tiles and then the next railway. So we head back here and we go 1, 2, 3, 4. So this rail line is on this one. So that just goes in like that. And that's about right for the spacing. So now we just need to connect them in to the main line. So this rail is going to have to go... What? Alright, something weird happened there. This rail is going to have to go a good long ways this way. This is getting to be quite the journey for the trains. Fortunately, they're pretty quick. But we might need to set up like a second hub for other things, potentially. Probably not, but you never know. Alright, that should probably be enough space, at least for now, hopefully. Alright, so now we just go across here. And we need this to go in like that, except not quite like that. We need it to actually work. So it has to be something like that. And then we're probably going to have to edit this train track in order to fit the return in, but we'll see. Alright, so then we get another one of those. That is set to auto-connect, right? Yes, it is. Cool. Then this last bit, we're going to have to manually connect across. So this goes like there and in. Why is it doing something weird? Like there and in. And then the other one goes across to over there. Then this one goes from here and in there, and then the other side goes across to there. And then we just have to put the signals on, so we put the path signals there, and there, and please go in there, and block signals go there, and there, and one more. Alright. So that's all set up, obviously, except for that one, which empties out into the void right now. So now, yeah, we do need to take that one out. And these two connect up. It has to be a little less sharp for this one. So like that. And then you can go in like that. Alright, so that is that. Then we just need these stations to meet up onto this line, which we need to send back So that goes out a little ways. How does this work? It goes out like to here and then curves in. Okay, that's fine. Pretty simple. So we just run this concrete foundation across. Then we grab you, bring you up this way, and across. Alright, so that is that. Now we just need to put block signals in all of these. So all the stations get to be their own little block. And this one is going to need to hook up there. We already did that one. Alright, so then this goes there, and we get another signal here. Alright. So that's that. Now this whole thing is good to go. So last step is to just drag the pipes across. So they just go from there across to there. And we get this for all of them. And then because these are liquids, it's easy to just, balance them all across, like so. Alright. Then, that went through instead of connecting up. Alright, so we have that now. Which means that this station is ready. So that's oil, and then we need to do this 2 more times for deuterium and quartz. So we have that one, and then a gap of 1 block, and then the next one. So that goes in there. Then we need to expand these foundations out a lot. So let's place all these in and then go back to placing the rails. Alright. Foundations in. And we know we need at least 2 rows of these. So let's go back here and keep on going. So just place all of these in so that we don't have to do it again later. Looks like our concrete reserves are barely enough to manage that. Alright, now we come back here and we start worrying about the stations. So the stations are aligned on this block, and there is a gap of 2, so they go there. And then we come over here, we align the station on this block, and line it up with the other station, and we're in. Alright, so then finally we just put the platforms in, and we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Missing wire. Alright, that is something which I actually think I remember that being a problem last time I did this. Now that it's happened again, this is not the first time. So this is going to be deuterium hub. And then we head over here. Call this deuterium distributor. And then we can put the belts in. And hopefully by the time we're done with this, we'll have enough wire to place one more. Alrighty. Almost there. We're up to 80 wire. It's quite slow, though. I wonder if I don't have a Mark III belt putting into the depot, or if it's just this slow because that's just how slow it is. Alright. We are at 100. So we can place that in. And run the belt across. Alright, so that is that. Then we skip 1, 2, 3, 4, and the next railway goes here. So that goes there. And then the rail blueprint goes in here. And we just have to line it up like that. And so we bring 2 blueprints over and then manually connect up the last of the way. So we go there and there and there. Oh, looks like we missed a spot. Alright, now we just connect these. Of course, they're too sharp. I keep hitting buttons. Stop hitting random buttons. Start hitting the buttons you want to hit. Alright, so that goes there. And this goes... Apparently this needs to be expanded out even more. So there you go. And we're just going to expand this out a lot more in preparation for the quartz one that we have to put in for this. So this is just going to go along this way. And that ought to be good enough. If it isn't, that's going to be very sad. I didn't realize quite how spacious these are. Train stations are just so huge. Like, it is insane how massive they are. Alright, so then that can just go out that way. And then this can go across to this way. And this one goes across to this way. And then we just get to put the signals in. So we get pass signals there. And a pass signal there. And a pass signal over here. And then block signals, which just go... Please face the other way. Or... No, wait, that's wrong, actually. The block signals are supposed to go this way. There. The block signals face out of the intersection. There, and one more. There. And nope, they all hate it. So is one of the path signals not placed right? So they have to be at a bit of a distance. Yeah, that looks good. It's probably... So that block signal just has no exit. That one has no exit. This one loops into itself. Alright. Let's try just pushing these block signals down a bit, like that. And yeah, that solves it. So now once we give these signals exits, it'll all work. So, this goes in to there. This goes into there. And then we just connect these sides up. So this goes in there, and we need to expand this out to like there-ish, and then up this way. So then this goes here, and there we go. Now it fits. Alright, then we take this railway out so that this can connect across. Too long, though. Alright, so we just have to expand this out this way. Alright, and now it's no longer too long. Now we have the opposite problem. Now it's too short. So this can just go up to like there. And apparently that's still too much. So if we send it all the way back there, no, it's still too much. But having it go the other way around works for some reason. Alright. Not gonna complain, just accept it. Sometimes trains are weird. Then we put these signals in. And then that one. Right, and then this one needs to hook up to that. Now that that exists. And that goes in. And that is, I believe, another train station successfully created. And I labeled those. Yep, I did. Good job. How is the wire situation? It's quite bad. Okay. Well, let's... Because we're going to have to make even more train stations in order to actually get anything to these. So we're going to have to, I guess, stop by the old base and manually pick up some wire, or at least investigate to see if something is horribly wrong down there. So let's head on over. That's going to involve running all the way across all of this. And eventually we will make it to the hypertube cannon, which just needs to be re-aimed. Alright, so that hypertube goes out, and we replace it with that hypertube. And then into the cannon we go, and off towards the space elevator. So our wire supply should be around here. So let's just drop down and see what's cooking over here. Alright, wire. Which one of you is wire? We have a billion of these producing wire, but none of them are hooked up except for this one, which is full. So is this... What speed belt is this? Yeah, it was a Mark 1 belt. So that can be as fast as Mark 3. Obviously, it'll only be good as a Mark 2, but... Alright, and then we're just going to grab a bunch of that for all of our train building needs. And then... I guess we respawn to get back up to the hub. Alright, so now we have all the wire and have the setting correct, so that won't be a problem. We need to build one more train station here for the quartz, and then we can go off and do some mining and grab some raw resources and send them over here. And then we build our factory and it'll all work. It'll all be nice and convenient and we won't have any problems. Alright, so that's the Caterium hub. And here we are in the space for the trains. So we're going to need that being there is just going to mess with the spacing on all of these. So let's just expand this out. And off we go. Alright. So that is that. And then we're going to need just another row of these. Not on top of them. All in a nice convenient line like this. So all these go out. And that should be all the space we need. So now we come back here, we line up, and the train station goes... Oh wait, no, we need to put the output train in first. That's important. Otherwise we would have all sorts of horrible accidents from multiple trains using that rail in different directions. Alright, so we get that in, and then we put the train station, which needs to go here. So that lines up, and then we send it back to there. Then we need the second train station, which is lined up on this one, and lines up with the other one, and we're good. Alright, so then these are quartz hub and quartz distributor. And now we put the freight platforms in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this one gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, nice and easy when you have enough wire for the task. Now we run the belts across. And these just all go like that. Alright. Then finally we just need to hook this up to the main line. So it is, don't pull out the explosives, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a rail. So that goes that way. And then this hooks up. So auto connect mode, line them up like that. And we get 2 of these in. And then we connect them up the rest of the way manually. So these just go across like that. And then these go out like that. And across like that. That one's a bit far, but that's fine. Then this comes across and into there. Then this one comes across and out to there. And that is that. We just need to put the signals in. So we get path signals going into the intersection. So that's one. You get one over here. 2. And one over here. That's 3. Then we get block signals coming out of the intersection. That's 1. That's 2. And that's 3. Alright, so now they're all working except for the ones that point into dead ends, which we will fix shortly. So then we also have to take that train line out and reconnect these up. So there you go. And then we have to hook this up. So we head back here. This goes out to there. And then back. Then we just have to get this to line up properly, like so, and then go across. Alright. Now we'll just have to connect the train stations in and put the signals in for them. So that goes there. And that goes... how do we get that to line up properly? All the way back there? No. How about closer in like that? Please, just connect in. Why is this one of all of them giving me trouble? I mean, that should be fine. It really shouldn't be an issue. I should be able to just go into, like, pretty much there. Alright, there. We found the sweet spot where it works for some reason, and it doesn't work anywhere else. Alright, now we just have to put our block signals in. So you get a block signal, you get a block signal. Then we head to the back. You get a block signal and one more. There we go. All sorted. Alright. And we labeled that quartz. So now the only thing to do is to go out into the world and actually find the resources. So we need oil, deuterium, and quartz. So as far as oil, I actually know a spot up in the north. So let's see here. It's probably going to be easiest to hypertube cannon my way up north, because it's quite a distance. And then we're going to have to figure out what to do about the quartz and the deuterium. I would like at least a full belt of each, although I'm not using it yet, just for future proofing. Alright, so we take that one out, transport it around that way, and off we go. Alright, so we don't want to go too far. We really would like to land right about here, because there's oil down there. Alright, so here we are. And you can see the oil beneath from here. So let's set this up So those foundations go in. Then we get the rail. We're going to have a bit of rail, but we don't need much because we are pretty much directly over where we need to go already. So then we just need to make this intersection happen. Which is the same as usual. So start like that. Then we go out like this. And then across like that. Alright, then we just need... We need that to be a path signal. We need... I guess that to be a path signal. It's not really worth placing a new one. Like 5 inches after the next one. Then we get a path signal there. Then finally we get a block signal there. And that is this all set up. So then, without going much further, time to set up a train station. So this is the output, which means that this is where the train station is going to be centered on. So let's get the space. And you go in here. And we just have to send you a bit back like that. Hopefully will be enough. So this train needs to go around this way and not get in the way of the station. Like that. Perfect. So now we know that's enough space. That means that this is good to go. So that can go in there. And I'm going to call this Northern Oil. And then we get fluid plate platforms. 1, 2, 3. Extend the foundation out, because they need massive foundations. And that should be good. So we have 3 there. Then we get another 2. Alright, now we just have to bring this railway back and around. And we'll see if we can manage that. It's gonna require some pretty sharp belts. Or pipe, or rails rather, not belts or pipes. So that can turn there and then go in there. Fantastic. Alright, Northern Oil all set up. So now we just need to do the fun part, which is actually going down and getting the oil off of this. So, how much oil is even here? Actually, do we have the resources to just place down a radar? I think we probably do. Alright, where is that? Under Organization, Radar Tower. And we just bring out a power line and connect the radar tower in. So yeah, there's a billion crude oil around here. A lot of impure, but there's also a couple of pure. So let's grab, say, 3 pipes of oil. And we're going to have to figure out a whole water tower thing. Or oil tower, rather. So we get we get a fluid buffer. And that fluid buffer is going to have... Actually, I want it to be facing the other way, just so for convenience. So we have that. And it is going to have pipes like that and that, which feed into it. Alright, so one of these feeds into it and the other feeds out, but at 0 per minute. So yeah, so actually I don't think we need both of these. Let me think. No, I think we only need one. But it might be safer to have both just in case. I did read that this contraption can technically empty eventually and like stop working just because of a bug in the system, because it's fluid mechanics, so nothing works properly. So let's see here. How do we want to do that? Now I think we just trust the system and bring one down. So we're going to need a ladder. We're going to need to get launched in the air by an autosave, apparently. And send that down. Then we need to grab one of these pipes and bring it around like that. Alright, so that now we just need to get the rest of the way down, which I think I'm going to do ladder and wall first, and then bring the pipe second. Alright, so that, and then wall, and then we keep going. So we go get a bit of ladder, and we get a bit of wall, and just keep it up. So a bit of ladder, and a bit of wall, and probably 2 bits of ladder because the wall is getting much longer. Maybe even 3. Alright, then we land here, and we bring the wall down. And then the ladder keeps going. And the wall keeps going. Ah, the joy of constant regret of building your thing so high in the air. I really could have built this lower and then not have to worry about quite so much of this. Alright, so then that continues going down, as does the wall. Alright, so then we swap back to ladder to keep bringing this down. This is quite the process. And then we swap to wall to bring that down, and we are making good progress. We are almost down. Relatively speaking, at least. We're still hilariously high up. But just about there. Alright, then the wall comes down, and this ought to be just about the last bit here. Alright, and just a little bit more, and we're down. Alright, so now we're down here. While I'm down here, I would like to put some oil extractors in. So we get one. Where are all the oil patches here? Alright, there's one right in front of me, but there it is. They're hard to see because they're tiny and completely flat. So that gets an extractor. And what are these? Two normals. So you are impure. One of them was normal, at least. It's a normal and two impures, I guess. Alright, so then let's head over here to find this other one. Okay, south on this island, I see. They're really hilariously hard to find. I typed a W. I don't mean to search. I mean to just place the extractor. Okay, power slugs are another thing that I'm going to need to worry about, probably. I'm pretty sure I'm quite low on them. Yeah, that's one power slug and 2 shards. Not incredible. There's a yellow power slug over there, a couple actually. I actually see 3 all in one camera shot. Oop. Alright, so we grab that power slug. These should help a lot. And we grab this power slug. And then we head back. There's another one back here, right? Yes, there's actually a couple more. We're just gonna pick these up as we go. And there's another one over here. So we pick this one up. Then, is that a power slug or is that just coral? That's just coral. Okay. Apparently there's a summer sloop over here though, and I am perpetually low on those, so I should head over and grab that. Also, there's a blue slug up here. And another yellow one. Gosh, this is just the land of the yellow slugs, huh? I see you around the corner and grab you. Alright, where's that yellow slug? I saw it just a moment ago. Lost it. Alright, so then the summer sloop is probably going to be in this tree. No, apparently not. Apparently I am just blind. Where is it? Is there a cave in this? How am I missing this summer sloop? I guess there's a cave somewhere? I don't know. At this point, probably might not be worth looking for too much longer. Yeah, I don't see it. We're heading back. Grab this blue power slug as a consolation prize. So grab you. And we keep on heading back. Okay, there are another couple blue power slugs, which, again, I really am low on these, and I keep using them for all sorts of things, so I should just spend a little while grabbing these while they're very obvious and easy to find. Alright, now we can head back over this way. And we're gonna need more oil. So that is pure and pure up there. So So actually we need to head over that way for oil extraction anyways. So yeah, let's just head over there and bring the pipes back. And if we happen to see this darn summer sloop or a cave that looks suspicious, then that will be great as well. Another blue slug. Let's grab it. May as well. Then this is going to be one of the pure oil patches. So we put you on. And we're going to need to probably max overclock these. Yeah, let's get some power shards going. So we need a biomass burner and a constructor. And the constructor is set it to make cable. Give you a stack of those. Give you a stack of those. And connect you across. So that we put that in. That locks in the summer sloop. Then we swap down to those. And we get some power shards. Alright, so now we have enough to immediately do this one at least. All the way up to 600. So you're going to be a Mark II pipeline. And we should just get all of these. And do I have any other power slugs stored? I do not. Still though, we should have enough power shards for what I'm doing here. Like, this is 3 more max power sharded factories. And then we get power shard 2, throw you in, and that's going to give us another bunch more. And while that is running, I'm going to come back for it and set this one up. So that's it over there. So we head over here. And we put an oil extractor. And fill it up. Set you to 600. And we need power and a pipeline. So then the pipeline we're going to need to just bring over here to meet up with the other one, which hopefully will have finished its power shard crafting by the time I get there. Alright. And you, power line, keep going over that way. As does this pipe. And keep on going. Alright, so that now... Alright, that's just barely too long, apparently. So that should be not too long. And now we just have to get these 2 pipes to line up with each other. And power both of those on. Let's grab the rest of our power shards from here. And then take this setup down. Alright, so we have these 2 both set to 600 a minute. And we just need to bring these pipes back, as well as the power pole. Alright, please, why? Water, why are you like this? Alright, that was awful. That was like the worst thing that I've ever experienced. It kept pulling up my inventory every time I hopped out of the water. Alright, so this... Let's just be a bit more careful not to drown. So these just go along. And keep on going. And we also need to grab the power pole before we get too far away. So there you go. And send you even further over that way. Alright, now the pipes just keep going. And we're just about over here now. Alright, and we bring the power pole the rest of the way. And a little bit further. The wall is deceptive. It looked like it was closer than it was. Alright, so then we have those. And we have the power pole, which is going to attach up to these ones, which we will overclock to get a third max pipe. I think that should add up. Alright, so let's go here. So you are 150. And we grab you and bring that pipe over this way and hook it up to this one. And this one is 300. Then we bring its pipe along and attach up to that one, which should be another 150. Alright, there we go. So that is a third pipe of 600 oil. It should last us quite a while. We don't need that much oil, probably. So now we just need to get these pipes all set up. So I think this wall is going to have to be wider, because we need 4 pipes total, basically. So first off, we have the pipe coming down from the tower, which is going to be this one, which needs to link in with all of these. So this pipe just comes along like this, and then we get intersections on this pipe like that. So all of these go into it, but then they all come right out. Obviously we can't actually limit ourselves to a single pipe of throughput. That's not what we're doing here. Then we find a valve and we say it goes this way but has no flow. So now it'll think that that pipe coming down from the water tower is going to feed all of these, even though it's not. Then we need to get all of these onto the wall as well. That's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. Alright, so one of these is going to require actual pumps because we need to fill the water tower. But once it fills the water tower, then we won't need those pumps anymore, and we can take them out or whatever. And I think actually the way we want to do it is to not have that valve in, have this one be the one that goes up, and then take the pumps out afterwards, maybe? Yeah, let's do that. Hopefully this will work. If not, then we'll have to figure something else out. But you get pumps, and you are going to get a dedicated power pole for that. Alright, now we need to bring all of this up, which is going to be a lot of pipes. So let's start with that wall, of course, because it has to go up before the pipes can go onto it. Then we need all of these to just go up like that, and like that. And we need to land somewhere, or we will fall and die. And like that, and that. Alright, keep going up. And this, again, would probably be easier working from the top down. But we're not at the top, and it's going to take us ages to get up there, so not doing that. Alright, so let's land here and send the pipes up. Don't have to be exact on sending them to their max length every time, just close-ish is good enough. And then on the ladder for the last one, which goes up to there. I think I placed that one slightly off center. That's fine. They don't need to be perfectly straight. Alright, keep climbing up. And we do another round of these. Up you go. Up you go. And up. And up. You know, I wonder, it would probably be worthwhile to create a blueprint for this, just a wall with pipes on it that I can auto-connect down. That would be smart. Well, next fluid, we're definitely doing that, because that seems much easier. We're already enough of the way done with this one that it would be obviously wasteful. Alright, so then these pipes continue heading up. Center again. Alright, keep on climbing. Oh. Looks like we may have lost connection to YouTube somehow. Alright, something weird just happened on YouTube, but don't know what that was. But it said briefly we had no data, which is concerning. But it seems to have fixed itself, so we're not going to worry about it. Alright, so the next thing we need is to expand the wall up. Please. There we go. It's so hard to get lined up. Actually, this would be we figured this out last time that it's much easier with a parachute because you're just so much more stable in the air. And it does somewhat obstruct your view of upwards. So let's climb up a bit. And get those. Alright, now we need to climb up a lot to get the next row. And we just keep on going up. Also, it seems like we're technically not on the right side, but that's fine. Alright, so now we're here, we get the wall. We get all of these pipes going up as far as they'll go, or approximately. And there we go. Keep on climbing. Most of the way there now, so then we're going to have to get the pump set up. Alright, so we can just climb up, get a lot of height, because the parachute does gradually lose height, of course. Alright, so then that can go up probably most of the rest of the way. Then this goes up like that. And there we go. And back to climbing. Back to climbing up the ladder. We almost have this oil up into our train system. Just a little bit further. Alright, so then we keep expanding this wall upwards. This should be just about the last, maybe second to last one. Alright, so then these all go up. And that one. Alright. Now we just get the last little bit. So climb up again. And this time all the way to the top. And we don't need that because we aren't twisting around to the other side. Alright, so that can just go up there. The rest of these can just go up to wherever is most convenient on the wall. And we'll work about getting them into wall holes in a moment. For now, the next thing we need to do is bring power down and pumps with it. So we grab from the power pole, place another power line there, and then we drop down power line there. Alright, getting pumps like this is actually going to be a bit confusing. So that goes in like that. And we need this pump to get all the way up to it, but I don't know how far up that is. And if I get too close like that, alright, I think we are going to have to just bring the power down and then bring the pumps up with us as we go up. So I just can't see what I'm doing from here. Alright, where is that power pole? There it is. So this just goes down, and let's drop a little bit to lose height faster. And like this, we can just go down, great leaps at a time. And a couple more. I don't remember having to place quite this many power lines for the other ones. I guess I'm not going down as far as I could with each. Alright. And now we just connect that down to there. And this should all be good. Yep, we see those are all hooked up, producing oil. Alright, now this pipeline pump isn't getting any fluid yet, but it will now. Just about. This whole area is filling up with oil. And we have a lot of oil attached into this, so it should be pretty fast. You would think. It's very slowly trickling up, I guess. We do have a lot of pipes to fill. Some of these are quite distant over there. But any second now. Alright, I think I want to switch back to the jetpack for now. Hello? There's nothing going into this pipe. It's a bit... Alright, no, there we go. It's working. Alright, so now we just need to put all of these pumps in and just bring that the rest of the way up. And I really wish the ladder was on the other side. In fact, I think I'm just going to put a ladder over here so that I can see it. Alright, so this ladder exists for this. So now we can climb up this way, and I forgot to extend the ladder as I was climbing up, and I just walked off the top. Alright, so we need to power this one on. Where is the nearest power line? There it is. So we have that one next. Then we keep on going up for the next one there. And don't walk off the top of the ladder again. Expand it up as you go. And then this needs to connect into the power line, which is right there. Then we make it back to our ladder and keep climbing. Alright, up we go. And we're going to have to go up another couple ladders for that. Alright, so that is the maximum pump there. You can tell because it snaps in like that. Alright, please. Did that connect? Yes, it did. Cool. Back on the ladder and climbing up again. So up we go. And we just have to make our way all the way up like this. And then is that really how far up? No, that's definitely not. Yeah, no, it's only down here. Alright, so that goes in. And we get the power, which goes there. Alright, that was the same one as the one below it, actually. Same power node. Alright, so then that is the next one there. Put the pump in. And find that, which is nice and conveniently close. Alright, keep going up. Just keep going up. So we just drag the ladder. Fluids are so much more annoying to deal with than solids are. Alright, so then that goes in as the next one. And then we just have to find... Alright, that didn't work. But we did end up placing a node up there, which we're just going to need to, I guess, connect up once we are doing the next one. Alright, so that can go in. Then we need to connect all of those in, and now that works. Alright. So we keep climbing. Just keep on climbing and placing the ladders. Alright, so that is the next one. And might be the last or second to last one. It's just based on how much distance we have left to carry. Alright, we did that again. But we managed to fix it, and now that's all hooked up. And up we go. Alright, one more goes in there. And then we climb up off the top of the ladder again. And we made a new power node again, and we ran out of jetpack fuel and almost fell to our death. But we fixed that easily by just hopping on the ladder. Alright, now we get up here. And that connects down to that. Alright. Now that should be done, and the fluid buffer is filling up with crude oil. Fantastic. Alright, so then the last thing we need to do is just get the oil into all of these. Now, I think I want to just do something like this. And connect them all across like that. Then all of these get attachments. And then they all get pipelines going in. Like that. And then I have three pipes of oil, so we can connect in from one end, from the middle, and from the other end. So then these just snap up like that, and like that. Alright, so then that is the pipe that is filling up the crude oil. So this is now filled. So now what I think we do is this should work just like this. We put a valve there and limit it to 0. And it says it's slowly trickling out, maybe? No, it looks solid. Looks like we're all good to go there. So now we have to... Actually, I don't feel good about just like taking all those pumps out, because it might cause some problems. And if there are problems, I don't want to have to rebuild this entire thing. So instead of that, we're going to take that valve out. This can fill back up to full. And then I think we just take... Do we really have to do that? Hang on, let me think. No, if we just, like, attach one of these up to the buffer, because these don't have any valves on them, do they? So if we just do that, and then, let's see here. So we have 3 real pipes. We have to make sure each one of them gets a connection. So this one goes over to there. This one is going to have to do some twisting to get around. And then it needs to go into there. And then this one needs to go over and into there. And then does that function properly? And it's tough to say. Looks like the fluid is going down from here down to there. And if it were coming back up, it would be going up this way, which it doesn't seem to be doing. It'd be really annoying if it turns out we have to go like 1 meter higher with this. Alright, so this is sending a billion out that way. Yeah, I think I'm doing this wrong here. But the amount of effort to do it properly... Oh wait, no, I think I see some fluid in all of these pipes. Yeah, I think it's working. We just needed to fill all these pipes along there first, of course. But now, this isn't draining so much. It's filling back up again. And we're getting fluid into all of these. Alright, I think that's a success. Difficult to say how much exactly is outputting. But hopefully it's enough. So that is filling not very fast. This is still draining at like 590 something. So I don't fully know if that's working. It's very hard to tell. Because if this is draining at 590 and just, you know, prioritizing itself to fill up all of these pipes, then that's not going to work. That's 200 something. Yeah, I think this is not correct. I think this is all limited by that pipe there. So I wonder actually, can I solve that if I just like get creative? So I have that one fluid buffer, right? What if I have just another 2 fluid buffers, and then all of them are going to be filled by this one that is pumped. So all of those are getting filled, right? Then I don't know if that is going to work or not. Then all of these need to connect into these other pipes. So like this one goes up to there, and then let's see, which is the last one that I haven't touched? It's this one. So then this one comes around this way, and then goes up to there. Then maybe that will work. Tough to say. Very tough to say. But I think I've just done this entirely wrong. 'Cause now they're hardly filling at all. Alright, I think I have to do it the correct way and just run another stupid pipe down there. Alright, so let's just take all of this junk apart. Goodbye extra fluid buffers. Goodbye pipeline junctions that I don't need. Alright. So what I need is to disconnect that pipe and then get yet another wall over here. So then this has to run across there and then down onto this. Alright, so now I have to just juggle the pipe and the wall successfully. So, pipe goes down. Actually, I might be able to do this with a parachute. So this comes down like that. And yeah, parachute. Doing this via parachute is quite easy actually. So then this comes all the way down. And we continue to drop. And continue dragging the pipeline down. So that keeps going. Then we drop a little bit more. And we're going to have to climb all the way back up again. Which is annoying, but that's what we got to do. Alright, then this is almost down. Fortunately, this was a relatively painless process with the help of the parachute. So we just keep on dropping. And keep going. Alright, then we bring that down. And the wall should be just about there. Yeah, this looks like the last section here. Alright, so then we have that. So now we just need that to attach into this, I guess. So, hang on, let me swap to the jetpack now that we are on solid ground. And that goes in there with a valve telling it not to actually do anything. Where's my mouse? There it is. Alright. So now, some of the oil is going to go up there to fill the thing. Then the rest of the oil is going to go up these 3 pipes and into the system. And we are seeing 600 flow rate on this pipe. Basically 0 on that pipe, which is expected. 600-ish on that one. And 600-ish on that one. Alright, we've done it. So that should be good. And there we go. Problem solved. So now we just have to climb all the way back up and get a train bringing this oil back to the hub. So we're just going to spend some time climbing. Fluids are a huge pain to set up. But with this being 1800 oil, I mean, that's pretty good. That is a lot of oil. Like, I think even by mega scale standards, that should be fine. Like this crystal oscillator thing, we need 40. I think in my entire previous factory, granted I wasn't doing mega scale, but I don't think I ever used this much oil in that one. So hopefully this will last us a good while, and if it doesn't, then there's more oil patches in this same area for us to expand into. Like, yeah, there's those 2, and there's those 3 over there. I think most of them are impure and normal. I think I got the 2 pures, but still pretty good. Alright, we are climbing up the giant ladder until we make it there. Alright, almost at the top. Almost at the top, and the oil should be probably close to filling by now, honestly. Let's check how the train stop is going. So we have 270 minute there, 250 minute there, 250 there, 500 some there, and 300 there. So yeah, it's definitely filling quick. Makes me wonder how many trains we're going to need to keep up with it, but should be fine. So now we just go locomotive and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. Alright, then we call this train northern oil. You tell it to stop here and at the oil hub, and off you go. Alright. And these are all set to load by default, which I just realized we need to... Yes, we need to make it back to the hub, because first we need to set all those trains to unload, and we also need to... oh no, they are powered on because they're attached to the rail network, right. But we do need to set them all to unload, otherwise it's going to not do anything. So let's get over here, past the limestone, past the water. Alright, so this is the oil hub. And you all get to be set to unload. And did I count wrong? Or did I miss one? I feel like I only said 4. Yeah, okay, I missed the first one. So there we go. Then we also need to do that for Caterium and Quartz while I'm here. So set all of these to unload. And there we go. And finally, Quartz. And we have to go and collect the Caterium and Quartz. Alright. And that's 3. That's 4. And that's 5. Alright, so next up is going to be Caterium. So, how much Caterium? I have to actually pull up a map and find some, because I don't know off the top of my head good Caterium spots like I do for oil. So, let's go to the map, go to resource nodes, and filter out Caterium. Alright, so looks like there's 2 pure nodes in the southwest. And that's probably the closest to. So we're going to head down there. Alright. And southwest is this way. Which is bit of an annoying direction to get to. Let's see. We do have a limestone node right down there. So let's, I guess, head back to the hub and just get another hypertube cannon transferring me there. Wait, is that Northern Oil? Yes, it is. Already. That was quite quick. Alright, so that's good. That's getting started. Now we need to make it back to the hub and set up a hypertube cannon pointing southwards generally. Alright, so right around here. Alright, here we are. And so we have this one, which faces north. So we need to just make the same thing, but facing south. Got that every time you die, it undoes your build mode settings. Alright, so we get some space. And blueprint hypertube cannon. So, okay, that's facing the wrong way. Like that. And just scoot it a bit over that way. And pop it in. Alright, then we are going to place an additional power pole so that we don't ever run out. And we need to head southwest, so we'll just make those corrections in flight. And just barely clear the heavy modular frame factory. So yeah, we have coal and limestone down here. We're about to add caterium. Alright. Oh, that's not good. Parachute over. Alright, we can't quite. We're going to have to go to one of these ladders. That's very annoying. But not a huge deal at the end of the day. So we just ladder on up. And swap back over to jetpack. And then get around the corner and up here. So this is the limestone supplier for our heavy modular frame factory. At least I think one of them. So then we need caterium. So let's plop down a radar to figure out where that is exactly. Actually, do I have the resources for that? I'm pretty sure the thing I'm constructing right now is... Yeah, I need 2 crystal oscillators. Well, I'll craft 2 of them. If it's only 2, I may as well just set 1 batch of these through. Alright, so that is 2 crystal oscillators, which lets me plop down a radar tower. And power it up. Alright, so I see there's a pure caterium down there and another pure caterium up there. Are those the 2 I was looking at? No. Oh, there's the second pure caterium I was looking at is just barely out of radar range of here. So let's take that radar down since it isn't actually where we need it to be. And we need to head a little bit further south. So let's get over here. And then put those in. So we get those. And then we get the rail blueprint, which just goes in like that. And we're going to have to go a bit over this way. For now, let's get the intersection in. So that goes into there. That curves around into there. Then this goes across that way. And this goes across. Please snap in. Please snap in that way. There we go. Alright, then we get a block signal there. Path signal there. You're a path signal. And you're a path signal. Alright, so that's all of that fixed. Now we have this. So we need to head a decent ways further south for this to be best. So let's just keep going. And yeah, because the other one I'm looking at is like down here. So we really need to get pretty much just over the void, I guess, would be the central location between the two. Which isn't ideal, but we'll do what we can do. Alright. let's just get to like right here by the edge, because one of them is right there, and then we can go down and fetch the other one. Alright, so this should be a good spot. And then we just have to span foundations out. Like that. And then send all of these back 10. Like so. Now we put the train station in. And give it a good amount of room. So then that goes into there. And this one can come around like that. And there we go. Then that is going to run along that way for some ways. Then we put in 1, 2, 3, 4, and clear out a bit more space. There we go. And let me get out of the way. 5 freight stops. Alright, so now we just have to bring this railway along to attach in. And why would you do that? That's obviously not what I would want. Alright, so then that, we're going to have to do some maneuvering with the trains. Okay, so this whole thing isn't going to work. We need to cut this back and start going early. So we curve out like that, which helps us get around like that. And then, why would you do that? Please just snap into the thing that I'm obviously pointing at. There we go. Alright, so then we have this. And let's just make that a bit of floor. Alright, now we go back here and we call this Southwest Caterium. Southwest Caterium. Alright. So, we have that. Now we need to get down. The first Caterium patch is directly below us. So because we are doing 2 patches, we're going to do the whole fancy cross thing that we did in, I think, was it one of the coal or limestone ones? So we get a splitter, which goes along this way. And then it is going to just manifold into all of these. So there we go. Nice and easy. Then we get, see, in order for this to be spaced right, we need them like that. Another splitter coming the other way, which goes up like that and into all of these. So we connect all of these across. And then across like that. So So now, because this is going to be manifolding and coming in from both sides, it'll be even-ish. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll be close. It'll be much better than just sending them all in from one side anyways, which is the important thing. And then we just need to put these in. So there you go. And we have to do the same thing on the other side. So then that goes up that way. And apparently didn't drag it quite high enough, but that works. Alright, so that is that. Now, we have done everything that needs to be done up here. And, okay, actually I haven't... I had that blueprint idea for the previous one, and I think... Let's just get that in. So let's clear out the space for a blueprint designer. Hopefully that's enough. No, we need even more. These things are big. So add another couple more rows that way. And then the designer can go in. Just make sure it's relatively nice. Alright, so now, in this blueprint designer, we want a wall that just goes all the way up. And on that wall, we want a ladder which goes all the way up. And let's see, getting the belts on here probably isn't going to work. Alright, where's the wall outlet? It can be Mark 1. So you get a wall outlet, and probably one per ladder is going to be good enough. They're pretty long. Alright, so then we're going to have to connect these up, of course. The outlets, that is. And then, as far as getting the conveyor lifts in, I assume that it isn't just gonna like work conveniently. So yeah, I think we're gonna have to do the conveyor lifts separately, but this will at least help with the other stuff. So I'm gonna call this train ladder. Save that. Clear the designer. It'd be better with the pipes because the pipes can auto-connect vertically. Alright, so now we just have to take that blueprint and just slap it down, I guess. Although that's not really where I want it to go. Alright, train ladder blueprint. Can you just go there? And then just go down a whole lot? Yeah, that is quite convenient. So now we can grab that power line, bring it up there, and don't do that. I've managed to I've managed to click in basically the only spot in my entire field of view that wasn't just connecting it into the train. Alright, so now we drop down. The ladder doesn't go 100% of the way, which is a bit of a nuisance. Alright. Can I... Okay, so you can't middle click to get the entire blueprint all at once. But you can just sort of keep doing this as you go down. The ladder looks funky on the blueprint, but when you place it, it works. Alright. So now we stop here to refuel. And then we're down about where we need to be. Alright, so now we're down here. We need somewhere to stand, like that, and then we just foundation on over, and miner mark 2, and power shard you up, only to 480 though, means we only need 2 power shards. And then the belt can come out and up onto this thing that I just made, I guess. Meanwhile, power line can go over this way. And then onto that. Alright, now we have to go exploring. So let's bring power line with us as we go, so we don't have to bring it when we return. So we just bring this down this way. It's going to be on that little sort of island type thing. And it is quite the distance a ways, unfortunately. Not much that could be done about it. That's just the closest that we can get to Caterium nodes. Alright, and then hopefully at some point we'll need all of this iron and copper. We can just grab it off of these. Alright, so then we're going to need to... Because that's it over here. So we just skip over that. And we blow up the rocks on top of it. And I don't know why it's floating like that. Alright, so then we just attach that up. And tell you to be 480 a minute. And now you get to go across. That belt is too long. So we're going to get you at an intermediate spot like that. And now we just follow the power lines back. And hope that we have enough encased industrial beams for this. And the trip up, which is going to be the harder part. So this belt just goes along. And across there. And across there. Alright, now we need to start going up. So you can just go up as far as you can go, and then we'll work out what to do from there. We're going to need to follow you up a little bit. Alright, so now we are up here. We need to make that into a path for a belt to go on. And we bring this along. Alright. So now we have these two. so now what I need to do is go up, bringing the power along with me. So I just need to grab these power nodes and then connect them up to the next one, and then I need to return back down with the belts themselves. And actually, in order to help do that, let's make sure that I have plenty of spares, because that can get very, very belt intensive very quickly. And this ladder is slightly more annoying to climb than a normal ladder because of the way I built it. But it's definitely better than not having a nice convenient wall to have all these power lines on. Alright, so we just have to keep doing this. And connecting these up. Alright, looks like we're probably not going to get to... We should be able to use this same nodes for a lot of future production. Alright, so that just keeps on going. And it looks like I connected them up from there. Alright, so now we go up and we find that hole there is one of them. So that comes down. Then we need to get all the way over there to grab the other one in the distance. And I'm going to be doing my best to drag that just a little bit closer to where I am than having it be all the way over there. Alright, so you get over here, nice and easy when you're just walking. Then we drop down, we grab that, and we drag it down. Alright, easy peasy. Now we just need to bring both of these belts down. And preferably get them closer together so that I don't have to jump back and forth between the two. Yeah, see, now they're just barely close enough that I can reach both of them from where I'm standing. And we're going to keep bringing them closer. And keep taking a little bit of fall damage every time I do. Because, there we go. And down we go a little bit more. And a little bit more. Alright, just about at the right height. One more batch ought to do, maybe two more. Yeah, it's going to be one more after this. But maybe not even a full one. I think this might be going down too low. No, it's just about correct. Okay, so now we have to bring that one over here. And just hook them up like that. Easy peasy. Then we grab this one, do the same thing, and send it in. Alright, there we go. And over. And in. Alright, there we go. That is 2 full belts of Caterium ore, all lined up and ready to go. Nothing else I need to do down here. So now we can just climb back up and don't fall. Alright, can I just fill those in real quick? Just like as we go, just fill in those gaps, so if I ever need to do this again, then we won't have those annoying little gaps, and it's just going to be one nice continuous ladder. Alright. Climbing on up. I imagine the Caterium is probably faster. A Mark IV lift is probably faster going up than just climbing a ladder, I would think. It's hard to tell from this angle. Up we go. And up we go. Just climbing up. It's fun. You can see the space elevator as if it's directly above you from anywhere. I wonder if that's realistic. It probably is, right? If it's high up enough. Alright, so we just keep it going. Just a little bit more and we'll be at the top. Alright, here we are. And across. And look at that. Nice, steady streams of ore. Alright, so that is Caterium. Much, much easier than the oil. So now we just pop in a train with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. And we call this train Southwest Caterium. And we say it goes here and to the Caterium hub. And turn on self-driving and off it goes. Alright. Another success. Finally, we need quartz. So let's go to our good old trusty map. And let's see, there are a bunch of pure quartz nodes up in the northwest by my starter base, actually. So let's head over there. And it's going to be faster to respawn. So we're back, and then we take that hypertube out and point it over that way. And the Caterium should be right around here. I need to be careful to land on the relatively narrow train tracks. So let's just get there, and we're good. Alright, so now we're here in a previously unused quadrant, and we should be, if I check the map, pretty much directly above the quartz as it is. So if we just pop a scan, obviously we're way above it, so it's going to take forever. But yeah, there it is. 2 pure nodes down there and a normal node, which I'm apparently using. So let's get our intersection here. And this is a good spot, right? Yeah, it's good enough. Technically, it's further over this way, but it's probably going to be in a cave, right? So who knows where the cave exit is. Alright, so then let's just get, like, honestly, just like one of them should be fine. Alright, then we have to attach the rails in, which is always a bit annoying. But there we go. And there we go. That block signal is going to have to be removed, as is that block signal. So we are right in the middle of an intersection here. Alright, so then this goes across this way. And this one goes across that way. Alright, and then we just make those path signals. And we put a path signal here. Did that place the right way? It did. And then we get a block signal there. Alright, and let's just get a second rail in there. And then we should just build out our train station here. So we go there. And then we're going to have to expand all of this out. And that should be good. So now we put the train station in, giving it 2 blocks of space. And there we go. So now we can call this Northwest Quartz. And attach that in. Alright, so now we put in the freight platforms, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a little bit more space for the 5th. Hope don't fall off the edge. Alright, so those go across. And number 5. Alright, then we come back here. And we have to just bring this railway around. So this is how the trains get into the station. Alright, what is going on here? What was it trying to do there? Alright, so then we need this to start curving like that, and then get the rest of the way around and in. Alright, so that is that quartz stop set up. Now we need to set this up, and the same way we did the last one. So we have a splitter here going this way, and another one on top going the other way, so that both of them just manifold into all of the stops. Alright, so then the belts go in. And just a couple more of those. Alright, now we put the other side in. So that is like that, and that. And it just goes across like that. Alright, it needs to be taller in order to line up properly. There we go. And then they all go across. So that goes there. And then those go across there. Alright, so those are all set up. Now we just need to put the floor holes in. So one there. And one over here. And then the belts go from the floor holes in to those. And then, alright, this one has to be a taller lift. So it goes across like that. Alright, so now we have that all set up. We need to get down here. And put those in. And get the other one as well. Alright, I'm not quite ready. Alright, now I'm ready. Drop down. And in you go. Alright, so we have those. Now I need the train ladder blueprint, which we set to blueprint mode. Make sure it just snaps down like that. And then that is going to go down all that ways. Meanwhile, I should be close enough to grab both of these from here. Alright, there we go. And these need to keep on going down. And keep on going down. Alright, now we need to finish off the train ladder. Alright, so then that goes down another couple. And we bring the lifts down, which are there and there. And almost there now. Almost there. I wind up on the wrong side. This one is placed backwards. What the heck? Alright, that is quite the nuisance. So we're gonna have to dismantle that. Oop, lag spike. And then place it around, but facing the right way for once. And then get the rest of the way down to this, which is just about the ground. Alright, then we finish bringing these down. And I mean, that's basically that. And then from here we can just grab the power pole, bring it down, and drag the extra ladder. There's no need for the wall anymore since we're so close. Alright, so now we're down here. Now we just need to find this quartz, which is apparently 100 meters this way. Oh, there's poison. Okay. Gotta be a bit careful. This is a dangerous area. Alright, so quartz 100 meters this way. And more poison pillars scattered about. No, too far. Just throw it from the ground here. Perfect. Alright, I don't see any more poison pillars in the immediate vicinity. So we're going to start dragging these belts and power lines along. And hopefully, if we die here, it's going to be very annoying. Just because we're pretty far away from the hub. However, there is actually power here already. There's a power line right there, in fact. Which means... where is this quartz? Can I just, like, get a visual look at it first? Or is it... oh, this is... is this underground stuff? I hope not. It's going to be so annoying if it is. It probably is, though. It's probably in that giant cave that runs underneath this whole thing. Alright, get those poison pillars out of here. Don't need them. Alright, please say that there is just... bro, what? There's a power slug, like millimeters away on the other side of this. Is this explodable? It looks almost like it's explodable. It isn't. Alright, where is the entrance to this cave? Please say it's around here somewhere and I don't have to go off on a massive tangent. I'm gonna have to go off on a massive tangent looking for it. Alright, I do know where the cave entrance is, though. If it's the same one. So we just have to head north, and it's gonna be this same cave, probably, where I get the SAM from, and I think some quartz as well. So we just have to go in here. And crouch, because it's very close quarters. Alright, then we go up past all those spiders. And if we just follow this along, we'll eventually get into a main room. Alright. So now we are in here. And yep, we have 2 quartz nodes right there. I assume these are the 2 pures. Yes. 1 pure and 2 pure. Alright, so let's get... we're going to need to make more automated miners, something which I still have not automated, which I really should. So we're just going to need 4 of these. And let's just go up to 8, just so that we have some spares. Alright, that's that. Now we go miner mark 2. Miner mark 2. Grab this power pole and charge the 2 of you up. And then make sure that you are producing fast enough. Set your belt. And now we have to figure out how to get this stuff out. Now, there is technically a trick that you can do, I think. But I don't know how I'm going to find them on the other side if I do the trick, or if it'll even work. But what you can do is... alright, so let's get a foundation in here. And Alright, so what we need is walls, foundation, and walls and foundation. Now, I've never done this, not once in my entire life, but if you send something into multiple floor holes, I think, from what I understand, that these should now be slightly bugged so that the lifts can go up as high as I want them to. No. Okay. So there's still clearly a limit. However, we're not going to give up because I think this should still be fine. Like, this is a pretty high ceiling, which means the gap between it and the floor should be pretty thin. So if I just send these up, like that and like that, then hopefully they will be visible on the outside. And I'll just be able to grab them from there, and they should be quite close to the train. Hopefully that works. Never done it before, but shouldn't be too hard. Alright, so we have to get out of here now, which just take this same old path. And we're going to have to squeeze out the tiny gap over here. Speaking of reanimated SAM fluctuators, that's another thing I need to automate at some point. Alright, we're out. And now we need to get back up over that way. Oh, I actually already have a ladder. I was about to use a ladder to get up over this cliff, and it turns out I just have one already. Probably not for that purpose, but it works for it. So now I just need to get approximately directly above where the quartz was, and hope that I can see a lift sticking through the ground. So we do the scan, and it was those two. Alright, that's pretty high up, which is not a good sign. Please work. It would be so convenient if this works, and so inconvenient if it didn't. There we go. Look at that. Just barely made it, too. Yeesh. Alright, so now we just take these and send them in there. And then take that one. No, don't clip straight through. You might be clipping through the ground, but that's no reason to clip through another belt. So you go around there and up. Alright, so that is that. Just finished in basically record time. Like the oil one took us like 2 hours. The Caterium one took us like an hour. This one should only take us like half an hour. And we didn't even have to hook up the power line because we're just in an area with lots of power anyways. So we climb, and I should fill these ladders in as I go, like I was doing for the other one. Just, especially in this area, it's quite conceivable that I find myself here again, since a lot of my pre-train network infrastructure is here. don't know what happened here. But there isn't a ladder. So we're just gonna place one. Don't know what that was about. Maybe another one that was facing backwards for whatever reason. Alright, we keep climbing. The quartz is making it up nicely. And that should be that. Alright. Now we are just about up. Alright. We're here. Just verify that this is working correctly. Yep, it is. They're all filling up. It's labeled Northwest Quartz, so now let's give it a train. So train, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. And so now we get into the train. We call you Northwest Quartz. And we give you a timetable. So you stop here, and then you stop at the quartz hub, and then you go. Alright. So that is another train set up. Now it is 4:30. Should be enough time to hopefully set up the return stop. Also, there's a hypertube cannon just over here for no apparent reason. Don't mind if I do. I could respawn, or I could just hypertube back. Either one is fine. Alright, off we go. And just guide us over this way. Alright, almost there. Alright, now we are back. But we don't really need to stop at the hub. We should head over here. This is basically where we built the heavy modular frame factory. Now, okay, I need to be careful not to accidentally run into our other stuff. So the line of inputs is expanding out that way. The heavy modular frame stuff is here. So I should be fine to just like go across the street-ish from the heavy modular frames. Let's go down a little bit. Just give it some space. And then off here, we can go 1, and 2, and 3. And then we put a railway in. Then we make the intersection. Which can just be very quick and easy. T-intersections are so convenient to build. Just kind of work. Alright, and this one goes across that way. Then we go path signal, path signal, path signal, block signal. And this is going to be looping into itself, I assume. Yeah, so which view is the problem? It's this one. So that comes down and goes in there. Alright. So then, here we need, what, 3 train stops, just like the heavy modular frame one. Which is going to be a ton of space. So this is the output, right? Hang on, how did I do this for these? I had this this front line just sort of curve over. Yeah, okay, so that what I did is I had something like this. And at what point will this not be turning too sharply? I think it's just too close. So let's try doing it out here. And yeah, now it's fine almost immediately. So you can run that along. And okay, it looks like we have a bit of a train back up here. What's happening here? Is this deliberate, or is this just like a horrible traffic jam of death? I think we may have created a horrible traffic jam of death. So why are you just sitting here? Alright. It seems it's because the roundabout is all one giant block, isn't it? I made them path signals, though, so it should work, I think. Who knows? We're going to have to monitor that later. For now, let's just finish building what we have, and then if this remains a problem, we'll have to do something about it. Hopefully it's just like a coincidence that a whole bunch of trains had to go at the same time. Alright, so we have this, and we're going to put our train stations branching off of it. So let's expand this out a whole bunch. And then we get a train station in. And we only really need like one bit of space there for it. And then we are going to need to get this train in here, which should be easy, but it apparently isn't. Let's move this back another space just to make it a bit more forgiving. Alright, then that should go in there. Alright, it seems like that should be easy for it. Like, why is it making a sharp turn and where? It really isn't. Alright, well that's obviously not going to work. How about that? That technically works, but is horrifying for a number of reasons. Let's see. I guess we can just move this further over this way. Just another block or two. Should give it plenty of space. Now, if we had it there, it should be trivial. Just do that. Yep. Alright, so then this is going to be Oscillator. What is this going to be? Deuterium. Don't even remember how I labeled this. Yeah, just the name of what I'm making and the name of what I'm taking in. So that is fine. And then we're going to need to expand this out even further. Right, it doesn't look like there's a massive world-ending traffic jam anymore, so whatever was going on there seems to be over now. At least at a brief glance. Alright, so then we have all this space, and we are going to put in another train station and keep them close together just so that we don't waste space. So then that one is there. And then the last one is gonna be there. And then that just goes along like that. And all of these can loop out like that. This last one is going to need to be started on this one and then go in there. Alright, so then that is Oscillator Caterium. This is Oscillator Quartz. And this is Oscillator Oil. Alright, then we just need to put all of the platforms in. So we get one. It's Bits. Thank you for the raid. Hello. I appreciate it. We are currently in the process of building a massive crystal oscillator factory. We have just gotten all of the resources together. Shouty Plays, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. So we are just building the train stations to get the oscillators in. Alright. Hello, thank you for the raid. So what were you doing before you guys came here? NW Hessian, thank you for the follow. If there are any others can't see. Alright. So then this also has to go out. And so then that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Don't really need 5 train platforms for this. Alright. Then we get 5 of these. We don't need 5 train platforms, but it's just the standardized length. So there we go. Is that the correct number? Did I miscount? Okay, first of all, this one's facing the wrong way, so that's no good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I miscount on this one? And I just completely lost my ability to count. 1, 2, 3. No, this is definitely 6. Alright, there we go. And then we get the third one here. Need a little bit more platforms. Alright, then this is the oil, so it gets fluid freight platforms, and we're going to send that out that way so we have a bit more space to deal with it. And those all go in. Alright, so we have all of those. Now we just need to get the return train line in. So that's going to be spaced out somewhere like this to give it plenty of room. And go across. So that goes across there. And then I just have to grab this line and put it in. So that goes there. And then connects up to that. So now we just go like that. And like that. like that. Alright, now for the signaling. So we have... Did I do this wrong? Hang on. Yeah, okay, I did this wrong. So these two... How are we going to deal with that? So this is supposed to be the output line, not the input line, and vice versa. Okay, so we're going to have to take all of those out, and how do we do this? How do we fix this just conveniently and easily? We're going to have to... Okay. Seki Wake, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Thanks everyone for raiding. Yeah, we play lots of factory building games here. Currently we're doing Satisfactory, and on Tuesdays and Thursdays we also play Factorio. So yeah, I stream every weekday from 2 to 5 Eastern Time, alternating between these two games. So if you're interested in any of that, then make sure to stop by again in the future. Let's see, so we have this. Okay, I think the easiest way... So that has to go into there. And then we can just take this one out and around like this. Okay, so that has to go back. And then this goes across. Alright, so then this train line just has to go across and then twist around the other side. It's a bit awkward, but that's what you get for not paying attention to which train lines are which. Alright, then this goes up that way. And we just curve along here. And up we go. And we're going to have to swap the directions the train lines are going into this. On the back, at least. Shouldn't have to do it on the front. Alright, so that has to come out. And we put this in. Then that connects up. Alright, now just have to get this, which hopefully will work. No, that's going to be turns too sharply. Stop hitting the wrong button. All the important buttons are right next to each other. Alright, so then that goes in like that. Then those two come out. And where do we get this lined in? Like that. And then like that. Alright, so now this doesn't have to exist anymore. Right, so let's just get rid of that so it isn't confusing. So we go in there, we come out there. Right, alright. Everything is good. So now we just have to put these signals in. And then get the signals on the other side as well. And then we're going to have to set up all of this. Alright, trains go in. Trains go in. And another one. Alright, so that is this whole train system set up. Alright, so that's that. then we need to actually put the train calls in. So all of these need a train and to go to the distributor to grab them. So we get a locomotive, and we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is oil, so this will go to the oil distributor. So we call this the same thing as its station, oscillator oil. And it goes there and there. Now here we have to wait for it to be fully unloaded and wait for 0 seconds. So then we save that and off you go. Then we need to set all of these to unload. There we go. And then the train will go off, and it'll pick up some oil and bring it back. Then we need to set all of these to unload, and do the same thing. 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so then we get the train with 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I remember to put train cars on that? I hope I did. It'd be very embarrassing if I just set a random locomotive off. Who knows? Well, I definitely did it right for this one. Alright. So this is oscillator quartz. And it is going to stop there, and it is going to stop at the, where is that? Quartz distributor. Oh wait, we need to edit this to be, for it to be fully loaded, and then wait for an additional 0 seconds after that. Save those changes, turn on self-driving, and you're off. And then finally we have the Caterium. So these all get set to unload. And then we put another train in. So we get you, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so then we just have to call this one oscillator Caterium. Caterium, and put its timetable in. So you go there, and there. And then that gets set up so that it doesn't constantly drive back and forth for no reason. Save changes, turn on self-driving, and it's off. Alright, so hopefully that should work, and we should be getting some resources back soon. Let's see if we can spot those trains on our map. So that's the oscillator oil, and it looks like it's coming back. And that is far enough back that it's probably the quartz. No, that's the quartz. What is that? Oh, right, that's going to be the one delivering quartz from the thing. And this is all heavy modular frame stuff. And yeah, okay, I can't find it. I can't find the remaining train, but it's probably somewhere around there. Now, do we get oil? I guess whether or not we get oil, I'm going to have to set it up to grab them. So the way I've designed this, I don't necessarily know exactly which platform the oil is coming in from, so we just grab it from all of them just to make sure, which is easy enough on these relatively small factories of only 10 crystal oscillators a minute, where we're not using more than a full pipe of anything or a belt, so we can just grab them up like this. So these all go in together, and then once the oil shows up, it can all collect in there. And then we do the same thing for the other resources. Actually, do I hear a train coming in? Yes, I do. So that'll be the oil right there. Alright, so now we have to get all this stuff out. So we just do, no, not splitters, obviously. We need mergers. Almost did that completely wrong. So we put the mergers in, and that will get us our, what is this? Is this quartz or caterium? I don't know, whichever one. It is quartz. So then whichever belt the quartz shows up on, it will go into this belt, and we will have access to plenty of it. Alright, so that is that. And then we just need to do the same over here for the caterium. So we get a merger, and we merge it up. And a little bit more. Alright, so then these belts just go across, and we collect it all up. And no, not like that. Just go into the merger. Thank you. There we go. So then that is all of that collected up. Okay, wait. I also just realized we need water. Are we on top of a lake? Roughly. We can get water from somewhere, probably. We only need 236 of it. Alright, so then the next thing will be just setting up the actual factory floor, which is going to be directly on top of the train stations. Gotta save some space somehow. And so that goes across. And now we turn this whole thing into a giant factory floor. And across they go. Using up a huge amount of concrete. I think I have like 3 or 4 dimensional storages feeding these. So there we go. And just one more. Alright, so then we need to get all these up there. So for the fluids, we can just put a floor hole up there, send that up, and we actually need to grab power. So we get some of that, bring it over, stick a pump on there. That should be more than enough. So then we have that. We need to get the solid resources up as well, which change to the right mode. Just put a floor hole there. And like that. That's not lined up right. Dang it. Alright. Of course it isn't. It has to go there. And then come down. And then that just goes up there, and that is the quartz up. And then finally we have this, which is one past that line, so it's going to be like there. And in goes the Caterium. Alright, so that is that. Then we just need to put the other side of the conveyor lift and the other side of this conveyor lift and bring the belt out. And I'm not 100% certain that this is the direction they'll be going, but I like to have here just in case. Alright. So then the next step is going to be getting the water. We have everything else, right? We have quartz, we have Caterium. Did the oil ever show up? Is this pipe full of oil? No. It isn't? Why not? So this... Did I hook it up to the wrong... Yes, I hooked it up. I hooked it up to the wrong outputs. I'm not used to fluids having different outputs that you can hook up the wrong one. Alright, so then these can just go like that. And it's a little funny looking, but don't really need anything else for that space, so there you go. Alright, so now we get back up. So we have Caterium, we have quartz, we have oil. Only thing we need now is water. Which is going to be... I guess we are right next to the heavy modular frame factory. So we can probably use a bit of that setup. Water is so annoying. Why can't water just be more convenient? So we're gonna have to drop down, put another 1 or 2 water extractors along this river, and then let's get more packaged fuel so I don't run out. And then we're gonna have to get this up there, probably by hijacking that water tower over there. Alright, so we have plenty of space over here. Plenty of water space for this. And I am playing on passive mode, so the enemies are not a problem. So we just put that in. And oh, they are a problem when they accidentally bump into you without intending to. But normally that doesn't happen. Alright, so I think this whole thing should technically be hooked up. So if I just connect that and put a valve in, because I don't want to accidentally actually steal water from the heavy modular frame factory, it needs that. But this whole thing is connected up to that water tower, so we should be fine. And we'll see if that's the case or not. Let's get an extra extractor in here. Just in case something isn't going to work properly. You're always pretty much free to just have more water than you need. So these all connect up. And then we're going to need to find a power pole over here to attach it into. And there we go. these are all powered up. Now we need to get the pipe up all the way to the surface. And I should have probably set up a way of doing that more easily. Alright, so did I ever grab that hard drive and just forget to dismantle it, or has it just been sitting there 5 millimeters from my factory? Yes, I did grab it. Let's dismantle that so there's no further confusion. Alright, then we have to get this extra water all the way up. Let's grab this purple power slug that's just hanging out here. I am not low on power slugs at the moment, but I'm also not super high on them. Also, my inventory filled up at some point. Let's fix that. Dragging all of this junk out. I wonder if I left a dismantle crate or two somewhere. Alright, purple power slug acquired. And then, next step, we need to find... Is there going to be enough room on this wall over here to just drag the pipe up? Probably not. I might be able to sneak it onto the other side of the wall. Yeah, I can do that. It's going to be a bit weird, but everything about this setup is a little bit weird. Because it's fluids, and fluids are funny like that. Alright, so this comes along and up through the forest and up through the forest and then just gets up onto the wall. So now we get to climb a gigantic ladder and occasionally place a pipeline next to us. So that can just go up as far as it will, and we keep climbing. Not sure exactly how we're going to get this over to the Oscillator factory, because obviously this is heading up to the heavy modular frame factory. Alright, so we just keep on placing those pipes, and keep on climbing. And get a couple more. Alright, keep on going. Dog Nintendo, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Glad you guys are having fun. Alright, so we keep on bringing this up just about at the top. Alright, somewhere like that is going to be good. And now we are at my heavy modular frame factory. And it does look like this did inherit the head lift. So yeah, we make 20 heavy modular frames a minute here, which is somewhat ridiculously high amount. But now I just need to get this pipe. Right, facing that way is not what I want. I want this pipe to be facing over this way. Cranon, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot as well. It's good to chill and watch. This is chillin' I'm watching. Yep, that's the idea. Just have a good fun time playing the game. Alright. So then we just bring this pipe over this way, and I guess we're gonna have to bring a foundation along. And then we have to get under this. So let's put a wall down there. And so now we can go down onto that. And then hide around underneath the train tracks. and over here. So there we go. Now we can just about bring this back up the other side. So over we go. Alright, now we have water. And the only question is it going to go all the way up? It should. I'm pretty sure the head lift heads up to the top of the heavy modular frame factory, which is quite tall. So we just bring this pipe along and put it on the wall. Alright, now we just get up here. And there is the pipe, and look, the water has made it as well. So that is good news. So, first off, we need my notes here that I have on the side of the screen do not tell me the recipes that I used, they just tell me the numbers. So I need to make 60 caterium ore and presumably water into 30 caterium ingots. So, I assume this is going to be the pure caterium recipe, because I'd normally use them, and it would be weird not to. So let's get a couple of these in, figure out how many we need. It's going to be a 3-ish. So I set these to 10 each. And then we can just paste that across. Gosh, this is so refreshingly simple compared to the absolute mayhem of the heavy modular frame factory, although the numbers will probably get wackier once we get away from the easy beginning part. Alright, so then this just splits 3 ways like that. All of those are in, and then I just need to connect that up, and it doesn't even need to be Mark IV because I only need 60 of it. Alright, so that is the caterium ingots. Then I need to get the water in. So that goes like across there. And then we get pipeline junctions in, and they go down. Apparently I used a Mark I pipeline for that, which was not my intention, so let's just upgrade those, pop that in. Alright, so that is that. We're going to power up the machines once we are done constructing them. I like to have the factory turn on all at once as opposed to in stages, just I think it looks better and has the machines not fill up unnecessarily. Alright, next up is going to be, well, I guess next up we can just do the quartz crystals, which I assume are going into pure quartz crystals. So let's get some refineries and figure out what that is going to look like. Pure quartz crystals, and I need 100 of them. So I just set that to 50, and yeah, that's where those crazy numbers 60, right? Oh, they do actually. They require 64 each. All right, Mark II belts it is. And then we put some pipelines across. That goes there. And then the pipelines go in. And how much water is that? Not that much. Alright, so then we just take something from that one, bring it along there. Why did I use Mark 1 pipelines again? I keep doing that. There's no reason not to use Mark 2s. Alright, so that is that. And it has everything it needs for the 100 quartz crystals. So then the next bit is going to be the crude oil, which is by far the more complicated part. So I need to turn this crude oil into 52.5 heavy oil residue. And let's get those machines in. And they can just go there so that that lines up. And then just there. Alright, then that goes like that. So this is going to be half of 52.5. So 26.25. And we just paste those across. And that should be our heavy oil residue. So now we need to deal with the polymer resin, which I'm just going to sink. Technically a little bit wasteful, but it's such a small amount compared to how much of everything that I would need for it to be worth it. So those just merge up and go into the sink. Again, we'll power this up once we are actually done. But then we need to get the heavy oil residue into a pipe. And that goes across there. Make that a Mark II pipe, because I forgot for the millionth time. Alright, then we just drag that down. So now we have heavy oil residue in a pipe. Speaking of, I need to actually put the mergers on these as well. So that can merge up and go that way. And they can just go over there somewhere. And that's going to be the quartz crystals. And then we have to do the same for the caterium. So that, I don't know why I'm using the speeds of belts I'm using, just sort of feel like doing Mark IIs because they're slightly faster than Mark Is. I only need like 30 a minute for that. Alright. So now we have our heavy oil residue. What are we doing with that? We are making fuel. Yeah, we're making 105 fuel using the package loop so that we can then turn that into rubber and plastic. Alright, here we go. This is the fun part where I have to remember how all this works. So we get, because we don't have the blender yet, but this would be very easy. So we go diluted packaged fuel, and this has to be 105 divided by 2, 52.5. Then we get 2 of those. And then we extend this pipe along. And then these go in. Alright, so that is the heavy oil residue sorted. Next up is the packaged water. So I need 105 packaged water. Now, let's see. I'm going to try to do this smoothly, and it's going to turn out horribly. But the packager goes there. Is that lined up? That looks lined up to me. And then this packager goes lined up with that one, and lined up with that one, I think. Let's see, did that work? No. Not quite. That's fine. Curve mode will make it look intentional. Probably. Alright, so those go across, and these need to make 52.5 packaged water. So they do that. Then I need to feed water and canisters into these. So the water is easy enough. That's just that pipe there. So that goes up and across. And I don't know why this is Mark 1 pipes again. I really need to just remove the Mark 1 pipes from my hotbar. Alright. Auto 2D works to get those down. And that is the water. So then the packages are going to be coming from here and just looping back. So these make the packaged fuel, which then immediately go into packagers, like that. And then line you up like that. And packages just go across. And these unpackaged fuel, 52.5. There we go. And then that produces fuel and packages. So the fuel, we're going to have to expand this out a little bit. And then this comes across. Alright, so then we just attach all of this up. Now we have the fuel. So then finally we just need to get the packagers back around to complete the loop. And just go like that. And then around this way. And then grab this one as well, which can just go around like that. Alright, then this drags forwards. And keeps going. Alright, and now that goes into there. This one comes out just a little bit further and goes into there. So packager loop is finished. Let's grab some canisters. These are going to need to be primed so that they work. You get an empty canister, you get an empty canister. And I guess probably good to have more than a full stack. That's 150 canisters per loop, which should be fine. I didn't think about them just outputting onto the belts like that. Doesn't really matter. Important thing is we have enough canisters. Alright, so that is that loop, and now we have the fuel. So now we get to do the next complicated loop, which is the rubber and plastic, and I have to do both. So let's do that back here, where there's plenty of space for it. And I'm notoriously bad at figuring out the correct ratios for these. So we have bunch of refineries. Probably start with rubber, I guess, because we need 70 of it. So that's 120 rubber. Oh gosh, I really don't remember the right ratios for this. I think it's like 3 to 2 maybe, in terms of how much you have to produce. Alright, so if we have 70 rubber, then 70 times 1.5 is 105. So maybe if we make 105 rubber, then that will work. So if I set these both as 52.5, then we're going to need 52.5 plastic in order to supply them. So that rotates around that way. And recycled plastic, 52.5. And then that needs 26.25 rubber, which is... we needed 70. We're making 105, which means we have 35 left over, so this is too much. Alright, well, if it's not times 1.5, then what is it? Maybe it's 1.333? So let's go 93 divided by 2. So 46 point some weird number. And so now we need 46.6 repeating plastic. So that means we need 23.3 repeating rubber. But this gives us, what was it, 93.3, which gives us 23.3 spare. All right, we got it. So it's times 1.3 repeating. Fantastic. So now we just have to link all of this up. So these two get fuel inputs, and we're going to have to also get the fuel around to the other side. And is this the right amount of fuel, actually? 23, 23, 23. So this is 23.333 times 3 is 70, and that's what you expect for that. Alright, we're good. Math has been double checked and it still lines up. So we just take this and actually we should do the solids first because the fluids are easier to move around. So we get a splitter here, right, that takes this plastic and sends it there, and it sends it there. So then the fluids just have to work around that. So we can just go up over here and then drag it across to there. That's not completely straight. So let's take it down and replace it. Alright, now it wants to do some horrible abomination. Yeah, what is it cooking? Alright. Oh, it's trying to go from the other side. Why is it trying to do that? How about it just not do that? What if we just rebuilt this entire thing but correctly the first try? Alright, nope, we failed again. This is supposed to be elevated so that it's not in the way. Why are you like this? Why can't the pipelines just not be weird for like 5 minutes? Alright, so you start up there, and then you go across up there. Thank you. Pipelines have cooperated. And now we just have to stretch them across. And that's that. And we need to feed it from that pipe over there. So off you go. Alright, then we need to get around this side. And what build mode am I in? Alright, I was in vertical build mode for some reason, and that definitely did not work. So then we need to get the fuel around to there. And just go normal, please. And then over to like here, and then down into that. Alright, then we need this to take like half of one of these as input. So we get a splitter, and we send half of one of them into that, and then the rest of them merge up over this way. And that is our 70 rubber. Alright. So then, wait, that's facing the wrong way. Oh, that's that way. Okay, that's fine too. Either one works. Alright, so then the next step is to also do the plastic, which I guess we just do in this same row actually. So let's take that fuel pipe out. So we also need 35 plastic. Why do I keep opening that? I think my habits from Factorio are starting to bleed into Satisfactory instead of just being the other way around. So we need 35 spare plastic. So 35 times 1.3 is going to be 46.6 repeating. So we get a refinery here facing this way and making recycled plastic that does 46.6. And just doing 2 of those, I guess. Then we need 23.3 rubber, so we just add 1 of those over here. And then that just goes in like that and makes recycled rubber at 23.3 repeating. And that looks like it works. Alright. Crapplefrast, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate that. Alright, so then we have to distribute this. It would be nice to technically keep them separate just for having it be balanced properly. So that just goes along to there, and we'll fill that up. Then we take this across and attach the fuel up. There we go. So it was on a different build mode from the other two, so it looks slightly different. That's gonna bug me. I don't like this noodle build mode for these anyways, so let's just make those auto. Alright, then we have this one, which makes its rubber. Wait, actually, this has to This is making 46, and it needs to send, what, like a third of it? 46.6 divided by 3? No, divided by 4? Yes. So we need to send a fourth of this into that, which is just pretty simple to load balance, so let's just do that. So you get, gosh, if the pipes weren't in the way. So you get a splitter there, and a splitter there. And you get those, then that's half, that's a quarter. And we just merge these two up to get the rest of it. Alright, then that is the plastic we need, and now we just need to send this rubber around into that, which unfortunately there is a belt here. So you're going to need to be on default mode because straight mode hates inclines. And just go up and over there. Not the most beautiful looking belt, but we just attach that up. And that is the rubber. Alright, then we need to connect the fuel pipe back here. So that goes down, and this comes around here. Alright, so that is that. So then, just confirm, okay, I need to hook this belt up like that, and that should all be good. Now I just need to prime it, so let's grab some stacks of rubber and some stacks of plastic. So then, let's see, which of these need to be primed? Let's just do all of them, just to be sure. So you have to have some in the loop beforehand, otherwise it doesn't work. And then you get some rubber, and you get some rubber, and that should be all of that we need. And then we have our spare plastic there, and our spare rubber there. Alright, so that is that. Let's see here. What is next? We have the plastic, we have the rubber. So we need to make quick wire. Alright, it is 5:40. So I normally end my streams at 5, but we had a raid just then. It'd be sort of awkward to end immediately. But I am probably going to call it here. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Had a real good time. Thank you for the raid. Appreciate that. All the new followers, you're great. I will be back on Monday with more Satisfactory, where we should be finishing off this factory. It's not a huge amount of work. Yeah, thank you. You too. So yeah. So that'll be that. I stream every weekday from 2 to 5. I play Satisfactory on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Currently, I'm doing Mega Scale, where the goal is to make large factories like that heavy modular frame behemoth over there that makes 20 a minute. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I play Factorio, where I'm just starting out my first ever playthrough. Don't really know what's going on, just trying to make it through. So, if you're interested in expert gameplay, Satisfactory is probably better. If you're interested in confusion and mayhem, then Factorio is good. So that's about that. Thanks everyone for hanging out, and I will see you guys later.